Hello, everyone. Sean Ellis with Eternal X Wolfpack Paranormal, and we have a special podcast tonight. My co host will be Ms. Marla from our team, and we have the Eternal Paranormal here as well. They had an event at Brodhead Manor back in March 23rd, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we were invited to there, and we're going to talk about some of the things that happened there. So I'm going to invite Ms. Marla on here first.
Hello.
How you doing, Marla?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. We're going to invite Alicia, the team lead for Eternal Paranormal, and Miss Tiffany.
Hi.
So, March 23rd was the big event at Brodhead Manor, and we were invited. Can you explain what happened there or what started there? Like the event? I can't hear you. We can't hear you, Alicia. She's having a little bit of technical difficulties here, it looks like. Can you hear us, Tiff? I can't hear you either. You're on mute.
Hello.
Oh, there you go.
She'll be right back.
I was going to say, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here. We'll bring her back on here.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
There we go.
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
It's all good. We got
I had my mic hooked in. I was like, wait, do I have it hooked in? And
we got computer.
I need to leave.
We got computer gremlins all the time. But can you explain the event that happened on March 23rd and what was going down?
So we got invited to host our first public investigation at Brodhead Manor by the owner Bill Walter and Ron, and yeah, we've never done one before, so he's like, it'll be fine, like he had backup for us. So I want to thank Bill Walter again for giving us this now, Broadhead Manor family. So he had Aspire up there to help out with the event. Ethan Encounters, Strictly Paranormal, Aaliyah Bolden, which is a psychic, Lights Out Paranormal is their name, I believe, and Sandy Harris from Transcendent Paranormal Society. So we had a big group of investigators there, including you guys there as well, just helping out with this event, making sure everything's run smoothly. So everyone just came up and they checked themselves in, signed a little waiver for Bill really quick, and then Bill did a walkthrough and explained some of the stuff that happens in certain spots of the building. Took us all throughout the whole building, the guests that came with, and so then after that, go ahead.
I was going to say, I thought it was interesting when Bill was giving us the tour of the place. We got down to a certain location down by the boiler area, and I could have swore Bill walked up the steps and went to the right, and the dog followed him. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to walk up there. And I walked up the steps and I went to the right. The dog was sitting there and it looked like the door closed, but the door was locked. He said it was one of the janitors that used to work there when that passed away. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but I thought you guys.
Man, I think Tiffany and I had to go off and do something really quick at that point. So I think we might have missed that part.
Missed it.
I
Yeah.
wish we were there to seen it.
Yeah, that was like, I was like wondering why everybody was just kind of standing there in that little area for a second. I was like, well, I'm just going to follow Bill. Well, it ended up not even being Bill. And I walked up the steps and followed the person. And there wasn't nothing there except the dog sitting there. And I'm like, what the hell?
I thought you guys went upstairs already.
Well,
Oh, hey, Tiff.
Hey.
Yeah. But I thought you guys had a great deal going on there. And me and Leslie had a chance to do some investigation there. You can catch our investigation on our page. It says Brodhead Mannor Part 1 and Brodhead Mannor Part 2, and see some of the things that we actually caught there. That was definitely interesting because we got some in the storage area down by the boiler area. We got a man's voice and some kids' voices down there. And you can hear it on the video where it was walking, and it sounded like wood, like it was doing this. But after Bill explained how the floor was built, that's not even possible because it's concrete and etc. And there's no wood planks there to sound like that. But it actually came over on the video pretty loud and clear.
wow.
I haven't watched it yet.
But yeah, it's very
Yeah, I haven't
interesting.
either. I wanted to hear what you guys experienced while you guys were doing your free room.
Yeah, we went to a few of the places in the area, and like I said, the most activity that we got was actually down in the Brodhead area, and was in that storage area where we heard the voices and the footsteps. We also went down into the boiler area, but we didn't really get any response. It was just like kind of a muffle. It wasn't enough to really make out a word or anything. Because I remember Bill said that make sure the women asked kind of permission to go down in that area because he didn't really want the women down in that area. I think that's what he said. And
Yeah.
So Leslie asked, and she walked in there, and she's like, I figured maybe she would get a response. And I think we just got a muffle on our EVP for that, but that was about it. We actually wandered around to quite a few places, and I even laid on the gurney that the embalming table there. And when I laid on the embalming table, it actually felt like somebody was taking my head and pushing on both sides of it. So that was actually kind of cool. It was like they were trying to hold me in place there, but that was really neat. We also got up there where Tiffany was, and Tiffany was talking about her husband wouldn't go into a certain area. And we were walking there, and I walked into that area, and I actually felt a lot of energy sitting there in that area. And it felt like someone was actually holding my hand. And Leslie took a picture of it, and she's got it on a Polaroid shot. So one of these days I'll post it on the page. But it actually looks like you can see a face in the shot. But the hand, it felt like my hand was floating, and it was going toward Tiffany, like wanted me to leave the room. And Tiffany even said, you know, it felt like there was a lot of energy coming just from that little area right there when they was doing that.
What area was that again? I couldn't quite catch
On
you.
the second floor in one of the little rooms up there.
Okay.
Hello, Facebook user. Hello from Alabama. Let us know who you are. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was really cool that we got some of that. And then we were walking around, and we just kept hearing odds and ends, and we would see shadows in certain places and glimpses. And it was really neat. I really liked that place. I definitely would like to go back and just do it as a team, and maybe have you guys in your team. And I even talked about maybe having Jamie Lynn Keller, all meeting us up there and just having one overnight stay and do the whole place. And I think that would be amazing.
I love that place.
Yeah, because then you get to experience what actually happens in the mornings.
What exactly happened in the morning?
In the morning the next day. Well, what happened to me was I felt someone like tap on my head, like, hey, because we were sleeping in the principal's, and then Tiffany, who had something happen to them, Charles. You guys,
both of us did.
It was on your guys' bed, right?
We got kicked. The bed got kicked. The bed was kicking.
Hello, Diane.
They were trying to wake us up.
Yeah, and then I was hearing before. Yeah, and then I went to go to the bathroom, and so I was like listening because I kept hearing like people walking around, like almost talking. And I was like, are the other guys awake? Because Strictly Paranormal ended up staying over and Ethan Encounters, and they were in Bill's office. So I went down there and I peeked my head in. Everyone was asleep. So I was like, okay. So I went downstairs and there was no light on in the gym. So I thought Bill might have been up, but I kept hearing like walking and like moving around, but it's like 8 in the morning, so time when school would be in session, so then I was like, oh shit, okay, well then there's students in class right now.
Most definitely. One of the other places I felt something was upstairs on the 4th floor, or I should say the 3rd floor. He was talking about the elementals being up there, and my head would go. It would feel like there's something there. I mean, it wasn't bothering me bad, but I knew that something was definitely there without a doubt. And that was pretty interesting because there was a lot of energy in that area too.
Did you get a headache?
No, I didn't really get a headache. I actually, since I've had my Menaki rights, I've actually got the elemental signs that showed up in my Menaki rights. So I don't think it affects me like maybe it would some others, but I did notice the slight pressure around my head and around my ears when I was in that certain location. And you can definitely tell they were there. And I thought that was
Derek
very interesting.
Well, speaking of the 3rd floor and the elemental that sits on both ends of the property in that building, Derek and Bill and Brandon and Sydney, who all went with you, Derek? Okay, so it was like what time in the morning? You guys keep going.
Oh, that we were up till 4 in the morning, and Tiffany's dad was with us, and he wanted to do some more exploring, and so I took my SB7 with the speaker, and I think the Epic box, and we went up there. Oh, and then I also took my burst recorder too. And so we did some burst recording up there, and you could hear like the drip, drip, drip from but then all of a sudden every like, I don't know, every 10 minutes, I think we were up there for at least 45 minutes. So you'd hear this like thud, like a huge knock, and it was different from the trickling that you would hear, and it would happen.
I can't hear Derek. Guardians barking.
The dogs keep barking.
Yeah.
So our dog, I think your dog hears our dogs, and so he's barking. That's why Derek keeps muting his mic.
He's sitting back here at the back door barking. But yeah, I definitely like that place a lot. I mean, there's a lot there to explore. There's a lot of space. And
Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. Man, my dogs were going crazy. I should have locked them up before this, but I wasn't thinking.
yeah,
But we hear this noise, like this knocking noise, and there was a time where we were wrapping things up, I think, and Brandon just passes out. He's sitting there, and he just he said, "I feel like I'm getting kind of faint," and he kind of passed out a minute. And then his girlfriend goes over and shakes him, and he gets up, right away, and he's like, "Wow, I've never, had that kind of happen on the third floor," and it's got a little dicey there. And I'm like, "Okay, so it's time to wrap things up," and I think that could have very well been one of the elementals up there saying, "I think you've been up here long enough, and it's it's time." But yeah, it's really cool because I wanted to mention, I know I got on here a few minutes late, so I do apologize about that. But I wanted to mention that I was in one of the parts where it was like the theme where we were laying on the table, the
Embalming table room.
embalming table room, and this was before that Estes method that we done with the group, some of the group there. I was in there with the Epic box and getting some pretty good responses with that. And then also I had a flashlight, my mag light, and I had that sitting on top of the fake corpse that was on top of that. And then I think at one time I wasn't recording, which I wish I had been. But I said, "Is there any energy spirits attached to the table?" And my flashlight goes off on point right after I'd asked that. And then I said, "Okay, now if this is if you're validating what I just asked you by turning it off, can you turn it off? Or, turning it on, can you turn it off?" And it turned it off. Right as soon as I asked it to validate it, turns it off. And I had two other people with that group that we had experience that whole thing with me. And if I would have had that on camera, that would have been so awesome. But like I said, I mean, there's times where you are getting really good responses and you don't catch it because you're not recording it. And I feel like it's for a reason, our personal experiences that we have that we may not capture, but we had captured on camera. So that was one of them. But it was a really awesome experience. So I'm going to get my kids in because I think I locked the door, the front door. I'll be back.
I definitely like that. Somebody said when I was watching the video that we took that the lights were going off in a REM pod that somebody set between my legs when I was sitting there, and a couple cat balls went off, and I had in the palm of my hands when I was laying on that embalming table. And like I said, the experience that I had, it just felt like somebody was taking their hand and actually holding my head into place and not wanting me to move. It was definitely interesting. So
I was also going to mention that when we were doing the Estes methods, we were doing it for quite a while with a bunch of people in that same room. And
yeah, because we tried to switch out, between the guests that came, so everyone got a chance. I know not everyone got a chance, unfortunately.
Right. But I can't remember, it was one of the, I can't remember if it was one of the groups or if it was one of the public, like one of the people that came in that was doing the Estes with me at the same time.
That was my dad.
The minute we were going back and forth, and we were actually getting really good responses.
Hi, Bill.
During hey, Bill, what's up?
Love you.
Hey, love you, Bill. The godfather of paranormal, Bill Walter. But and so we were I was actually behind the curtain there, so I couldn't see nothing. Plus, I had blindfolded myself. I couldn't hear anything.
Hey, no attention to the man behind the curtain.
And for a minute, I felt like something slightly just kind of grabbed my wrist, just like I felt a little bit of pressure, like somebody grabbing me on the wrists through my hoodie. And I didn't really freak out because obviously I knew that there was people in this room with me, and I would have and I knew I was okay. But there was a time where I kept hearing my name.
No, you totally freaked out. You were like, oh my God.
I don't know if I did. I couldn't. But anyway. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
We watched you.
You did.
So, but it was pretty cool. And I heard my name go through quite a few times, and I heard Bill's name go through. So they definitely know who you are there. I mean, there's definitely some intelligent spirits that are in Brodhead for sure.
Oh, most definitely. Leslie was getting a lot of names when we were there, and we'd go up to Bill and ask Bill, and we got quite a few of the names that he actually verified when we were there as well.
That's awesome.
I think there's maybe a couple maybe he never heard of, but the other ones he did hear, he said, and that was pretty awesome that we've got quite a few of those names in it. Like I said, that place, I would love to go back, like I said, just our team, your team, and maybe Jamie Lynn Keller, and go up there.
Yeah.
Just do an overnighter because that place is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's so huge, and there's so much activity. It's crazy about like we probably didn't even. I mean, there's so much more that we could have done, as far as investigating. And hey,
We're not done yet.
we were even up on the second floor, and I want to say it's turning into like is it the museum or is it the shop? I'm not sure. Bill Walter can help me on this. We were at the table, and there was a bunch of us, and we had the cat balls going off behind us.
The second floor used to be the shop. That room used to be the shop.
Okay, that's what I thought. So we were up there, and we were doing some spirit box sessions, and we were having some communications coming through. I know that Leslie started hearing, like yes and no responses when we were up there, all sitting around the table. And then next thing you know, we got cat balls going off. And I think some of that was maybe some movement from people walking around and stuff. I like to rule that out sometimes when I'm, investigating and stuff. But there was a few of those times where nobody was moving at all, and the cat balls were going off simultaneously, and it was really cool though that we all kind of got to experience the same thing, in that room. And with the responses that we got, I was like, man, that's awesome. And then did you guys even talk about the green laser with the hallway and the fog? And that was really cool too.
Yeah,
No, not yet.
We were actually standing
not
at the other end of that because me and Leslie were investigating, and you guys were down at the other end, but we were watching it from the other side. That was actually pretty cool.
It was so freaking awesome, man. And like you could literally stand still and you could see the swirls going through the fog, like actually somebody there, like the way it was swirling and stuff,
Yeah, it definitely was cool. I mean,
was
we were sitting there at the other end.
That it would swirl.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna say, and the only way that it caused that there would be that draft is where the doors are to the different rooms, was where the air could come in through and affect the fog, but it wasn't in those doorways when it was happening. We were even testing, is it someone moving around? Okay, so everyone back up against the walls on either side and don't move, and it was still happening.
Yeah, me and Leslie, when you guys were doing that and the lasers were on and the mist was going across the floor there, me and Leslie were standing on the other side, and we were watching the whole thing unfold as some of that was moving in different directions, and how it was doing that. It was very unique when all of a sudden it would go one direction, then all of a sudden it would go towards something, and then all of a sudden it would just stop or just go. But you would actually see that flow going wherever it was going. So those were really neat,
Yeah.
the way he had that set up with those lasers.
Yeah. The one place
And then
didn't.
I decided to come up with an idea of doing something different with it, was trying to write your letter of your initial in it, to see if they could copy, hey. So we were kind of like doing a little science experiment. So I was like, hey, kids, we're going to do something different today. We're going to try this experiment. Can you go to the fog and with your finger write the first initial of your letter? You know what I'm trying to say. The first initial of your first name. So I did it, and I swear I seen something, but it was like an L or a S or something.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool. It'd be really interesting if there was a way to set that up, like in a state, just like a doorway type part, and to actually see if something, and have like a fine mist, and see if something would actually walk through it. You know how you see something appear? That would be something very unique if you could actually get something like that and make like some type of a stand where it looks like a door, and then have that go through, like even have like the laser, going crisscross like it is, and then have that mist or the smoke, and just have it in that little location. Because if something actually walked through it, the lights would go off on the lasers, and then also that mist would go out. That would be pretty awesome if you could catch something really cool like that.
Yeah.
So,
well, I was thinking about that I have a fog machine, and I honestly wanted to try that experiment at a different location, bringing a fog machine with, and trying something out with our laser lights also, or the trip laser that Derek just bought from Austin Mannor.
Yeah. I think Leslie actually bought some trip wires, since we seen somebody up there have them that day when we were up there doing the essence there before we left. Yeah. And that was actually really interesting too, because all of us were sitting there at that table, and those cat balls and everything was just going off all over the place in certain areas, and nobody was around them. So that was pretty awesome as well up there in that little area.
It was all along that one wall too, like where those couches were, the little ottoman, and then the couch.
Until you sat down on the couch.
Yeah, until I sat down. Exactly. And I even moved the couch, because I was like, okay, what if I sit down over here? Will you sit down next to me? It never went off on the one on the couch that I was sitting on, except for the other two. They kept going off, but they would never come towards me. I was like, do I stink or something, guys?
But yeah, did you get any EVPs off that when we were up there?
I didn't get any EVPs, but we did keep hearing, like I said, we kept hearing responses coming through the little speaker that I had set up with the SB7 Pro. And that was really cool. I didn't want to.
Yes, there was that one distinct phrase that you said something.
There was a thing that in the moment, I knew what it said. I didn't want to ask any more questions about it, because I was shooting a video at that point, and I didn't want anybody to be offended if I would have said it or anything like that. But if you go back and look at my video of Brodhead Mannor, and go back, and you can see when we were doing the questions towards like the middle to the end of the video, if you listen to it, I'm pretty sure you can hear what I hear. And I don't know if I want to continue to ask, or even bring it up again if I were to ever be there. I'm not sure. Maybe I'd have to get Bill's permission, but it said a word that is kind of sensitive for some people, you know. And so I mean, I wouldn't mind trying to figure out some answers, you know. There could have been a spirit and trouble back, you know, a long time ago,
Right.
you know. So that would be kind of cool to figure out what actually happened, you know, and try to help the spirit there. But there was one portion of the building that I would have loved to go investigate, and I just never did that night. And it was the funeral parlor room, the funeral in the very back on the first floor. And I didn't spend a lot of time in there, but we did go through there, you know, with the when Bill was giving us the tour. And I wanted to say also, Bill is an amazing tour guide. I mean, he knows his building from left to right, up and down, and the way that he did his tour was really awesome. I mean, he nailed it. People were interested. We had the whole entire group follow, you know, throughout the whole building, and it was fun. I mean, he took us to all the floors, and we learned a lot, you know. I know that one of the elementals during the tour, I'm not sure if you guys have mentioned this or not, but his dog, I think her name's Lexi. I want to say her name's Lexi. Lexi? And there was a point like where there's like a hall that goes into the music room, and she would not go in there. I mean, she would follow Bill throughout the whole entire building. But that hallway, she hesitated so hard to go in there, and she finally made it in there, but she just acted really, really different. And I thought that was like something else.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
him saying that, you know, his dog hesitated going into that area.
Yeah. And I believe it's one of the elementals that she can definitely sense there.
Yeah, like I said, you can definitely feel that they're there on that third floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do like that place, and
It's awesome.
It's an amazing place.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, I mean, I would absolutely love to go and do a thorough investigation, like all hands on deck, freaking, you know, setting up multiple cameras and getting some. I plan on getting like 3 to 4 Wi-Fi cameras, like the home security ones that you can just like set up on the fly and hook it up to a Wi-Fi, you know, like Bluetooth.
Right.
And so I'm looking into that. And do a thorough investigation there, man. Like, and then with you guys and like you said, Jamie, and I think I seen Michael pop up there too. I think he's the one from Spire. Yes. So Spire's really awesome. Ed, Michael, they're really great. So, I mean, the place is huge. So, I mean, we'd definitely be able to, you know, have at least a couple of teams, you know, and be able to break up, you know, into groups and kind of do everything together. So that'd be awesome, man. We got to talk about getting up there, dude.
Yeah, and then kind of compare everything, you know, afterwards.
Yeah, and like even the rooms are so huge. I mean, we could even all be up in. I mean, there'd only be like 7 of us or 8 of us, you know. And there's one other room that I wanted to do, and I think that's the one on the 3rd floor. And it's the one where there's like the beams that go across on the top, and then there you can see the handprints like upside down like this. You can see the handprints, you know, that room. And
that's the first floor on top right.
Yeah, and so I didn't get to investigate that room either. So I'd like to spend some time in that room too, for sure.
Bill just sent us a message here. It says, here's what I'll do. I'll shoot you guys over some dates. You guys plan on one of those dates and come out, and we'll give you guys full investigation of the building overnight.
That'd be awesome.
Awesome.
Well, we don't have anything in July.
That would definitely be amazing because, like I said, that place is very, very interesting. And
Yeah.
like I said, I know there was a lot of people there, and some places were more secluded than others. But like you said, if we can get just the group that we kind of want to go in and just do it from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And like I said, compare what we find to each other. And, after we've all been in certain rooms and certain areas.
Yeah, and like eventually maybe we can all like have one big group in a few big locations of the building. And
Honestly, we could even split up into 2 different groups. I'm thinking of something, different group in 2 different Estes methods at the same time. How cool would that be?
oh yeah.
Yeah, it would.
2 different groups at the same
That'd
time.
definitely be interesting.
That would be really cool too. I love the double Estes methods. Man.
Well, at first I didn't know what the fucking do.
I miss paranormal.
I know you and Alicia had your hands full that night with, everybody being there. And I know me and Tiffany talked more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your opinion, Tiffany, of some of the stuff that was going on that you seen when we were there?
I see a lot of anxiety, excitement, overwhelmed.
You can tell them about the experiment we did with the one small group up on the
No, I
second
didn't do that yet. So we're getting ready to talk about that.
Go ahead.
That was pretty cool. So
Okay.
we had a small group that went with us. We did experiment on an Uno game. And I went downstairs for something. Where did I get cat balls or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so she started the Uno game and she had her stuff all set up. And when I came back, everything just went crazy when I came back. And the REM pod went off. And I set a couple cat balls down. I think one went off somewhere in the room. It was like the old creepy doll room area.
Yeah, that's where they have
floor.
their the fake dolls and stuff. Right across from the old shop where the
Yeah.
lobby was in that one room.
So, but Alicia had a good experience out of that with the game.
We all did, honestly.
Explain
We-
the Uno one, because that's the first time I've heard that. How did you guys do that?
So we came up with an idea that we didn't get to test out at Ashmore Estates. So we thought it'd be a good location since it's children's spirits. So we pretended that we were teachers and we had some guests with us, So it was like, hey, my name is Mrs. McFadden and this is Tiffany. And we went around the room, said our names. Today we're going to be playing a game called Uno. Have you guys heard about Uno? Like acting like excited about it, because they're kids. And I heard from one of the guys that came, that was a guest, that he went to school there when it was open. And a big thing that they played was euchre, I guess that he said. So I don't know. I'm sure some of them knew what Uno was, maybe. And so we explained, okay, this is how you play Uno. And so we sat in a circle around this little coffee table and we dealt the cards. We left one spot open for a student. I had a REM pod turned on, sitting behind us. And then I was like, okay, when we got to that spirit, we were like, do you have a yellow or a number, whatever the card was, or do you have the what's that one card? I can't think of it. The one that you can change it to whatever color you want.
Yeah.
Oh, 4.
Yeah. So every time
4
that,
type thing.
so we knew that it had that card if the REM pod went off. So the REM pod went off anytime that I asked it if it had this card. And then all of a sudden I win and my headlamp, everyone's like, hey, Tiffany pointed it out. Tiffany, you explained to them.
I was like, hey, your headlamp's going off. It was dimming too. Like it was messing with her.
It was. I was like, because I just won. I won Uno. And all of a sudden my headlamp starts going off and on. I was like, okay, you're messing with me right now. Are you guys getting bored? Did you leave or what are you doing? So I changed the batteries out really quick and then we ended up doing the SB7. And when I turned on the SB7, tell them what it said.
It said, "You're lucky."
That's cool.
It was awesome.
And then dead silence. It was gone.
So that's kind of a unique thing to do. I mean, I had the chance when I was at Bell Manor that we played poker with the spirits.
Oh,
Me, Lori, Mandy Mensinger from Ghost Sisters, and the former lead, and we had the REM pod sitting in the middle of the table, and we'd go around and we'd do our bets or whatever, and that REM pod would actually go off on who would win the hand.
that's awesome.
So that's kind of cool that you guys come up with the Uno style. So maybe we can do a combination the next time we go there, playing poker and doing an Uno in 2 different locations and see what happens.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. They're like, okay, students, this half's going to go to this group and the other half's going to come to this group.
I mean, maybe the kids would more flock to where you guys are playing the Uno part. Maybe the adults ones would come toward maybe where we're playing poker, maybe, and see what happens.
That's true. Because like the principal or the janitor,
Right.
like the faculty staff.
Yeah. That would definitely be an interesting concept to pull to see what we do come up with. Because like I said, it was telling who would win. It would go off. We had the lights set up exactly to each one of us, and whoever would win, that REM pod was going off, guaranteed.
See, that's so cool that we had similar experiences doing 2 different games at 2 different locations.
Yeah, and I thought it was pretty unique. So, like I said, I definitely kind of want to experiment with some mist. If we can get a chance to do that, experiment with that, and see if we can, or see if something will walk through like a doorway and maybe make it that image when that smoke, comes through. Or
Yeah, just get a fog machine. Or if you have one, there you go.
But yeah, I definitely like to try that at a location to see if that would happen. And I thought those laser lights he had across the floor was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
To watch all that. Yeah, Miss Lori was there. She was one of the ones that was playing poker with us that night.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
It's cool to see different things, like things that people don't think about out of the box kind of stuff, to see if we can get interaction, intelligent interaction, and can spirits really see what we're doing, like with cards or different things in our hands and stuff, and tell us what we're actually, holding or whatever.
Yeah, that would be kind of an interesting concept to pull too. Lay maybe 5 regular cards down and say, is there actually a red one here or a black one, or in case, the Uno style, the different colors, and see if it actually could pick and verify that one of those 5 cards was actually something there, of what we said, because we wouldn't know if we laid them face down. But
see, that's what we did. We had them face down. I never did look at those cards though to see if they actually had those color cards or the numbers that we had been playing at the time. And I should have done that, but you always woulda, shoulda, coulda when you get done leaving a location the next day, you're like, ew.
It's just like when Bill was taking us on the tour. I wish I had the camera rolling in, because like I said, I could have swear to God, he walked up those stairs and took a right down there by that boiler room. And I followed him right up the stairs and around the corner, and the dog was sitting right there. And it definitely looked like that door shut. And I'm like, what in the hell? And then all of a sudden, it wasn't Bill.
Was it actually Lexi, did you say, or no?
No, the dog was actually there. The dog was
Okay.
actually sitting there because I actually leaned over, petted the dog, and I'm like, I was wondering why the dog didn't follow him if he went through that door. And I'm
Okay.
just like, okay, what's going on here? And then I heard him talking down in the boiler room area. So then I walked down there and I'm like, what the hell? And I told Bill about it. He goes, yeah, I was a janitor. And I'm like, that was pretty cool. Now I wish I would have got that on tape.
Yeah. Because I
Don't
mean,
you
if the
just hate
dog
that?
found something.
And you don't think about it when you're just doing like the tour of the building, you know. You don't think about doing some of those things when you're doing tours. And I think maybe from now on, I think I kind of learned my lesson. Maybe when somebody's giving a tour, he's, you know, we're gonna record this because I want to catch something like that again. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and Bill were talking about that. Leslie was talking about it down there in the gym, and he's like, "Yeah," he said that was a janitor, and I'm like, "Okay, that's kind of cool." And we went and we did go back up there, and me and Leslie stood there, and we turned off the lights in that little section, and we put cat balls up on that little section up at the top of the steps there.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get a response there because, like I said, we seen something walk through there already. And I stood up there for a long time, and I was like, okay, I'm not getting a response because sometimes they won't respond to me. So I was like, Leslie, I was like, your turn. And she's like, what? And I was like, just go up there and stand for a while. So she went up there and stand, and she could have heard, she thought she heard somebody say something when she was up there. But like I said, I haven't had a chance to go through her recorder for that part of it. But that was definitely kind of interesting, though. But like I said, we shut off all the lights. We tried to get another reaction in that area that we've seen there. So
There's always one ass hat with a fucking grenade on it.
yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
But like I said, I definitely like Brodhead Mannor, and I definitely like the guys there, and all that's going on there. There's a lot of things that's going on there.
Well, Bill calls it the Walt Disney or the Disney. Oh, he can help me out on this. They call it the Paranormal, the Disney for the Disneyland.
Disney Paranormal.
Yep, Disneyland, the Paranormal.
But yeah, it's definitely a really great place to go to. And I do recommend that anybody that gets a chance to go should go. It's definitely worth it there.
And Bill's just a great guy. I can't express that. I mean, enough. Super nice, down to earth, fun, awesome. Like, he even put me to the test after you guys left, and it was like midnight, 1, 2. He was telling me to go up the stairs, follow him where he went. So I went up pitch black, no flashlights. And I was walking around up there, and he took me through the whole entire building, basically, and was just putting me on these like little tests and stuff. And then he even showed me the makeup room where they all do their makeup and stuff, because it is a haunted house. They run the haunted house in October. Right. And man, that's awesome, dude. Like, I just want to go for the haunted house, you know.
I actually used to work in a haunted house here where I live at, and
I think that'd be. Oh God,
I used to dress up as a werewolf, and I would scare the living crap out of people.
Yeah, Brandon got me once at the night because we actually made our way back down, and we were in the embalming table room, and Brandon comes around the corner, and it's pitch ass black, dark, and he comes right up behind me. Scares the hell out of me.
Brandon's a funny dude.
He said, quit buttering me up. I don't want you buttering me up. It's the truth.
Going back to the fog space, you know.
That was hilarious. Did you guys talk about that? So Brandon.
I didn't take a picture of it either.
Yeah, so going back to the little fog area, it looks like water. And it, you know, so he was underneath the fog. You can't see him. And all of a sudden you see his head pop up. And then he goes like that, and then bops up, and then gets closer, and then bops up. Going through like the Seal swamp, like like the swamps in the military, and then they like kind of pop their head up and they look around, and they bop under the water. It was funny.
Yeah. But yeah.
But just the moment that we got there, with the Vikings like music that he had going on to ramp up the spirits,
Right.
I think really helped that night. And dude, just the vibes of that music was dope, man. Like when we first got there, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be freaking awesome.
We were chilling.
Yeah.
We got there about the same time you did, and we were all sitting there talking for a while, and we were listening to the music and stuff. And Bill was talking about the elementals and everything. And like I said, when you pull up, you can definitely tell there's a lot of stuff going on in that place. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but like I said, if anybody gets a chance to go, I would definitely recommend going to Brodhead Mannor. It's definitely a place to check out.
Oh yeah, and we're definitely gonna go back. So we're gonna keep in contact with Bill. I think he's gonna shoot us a couple of dates.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So when he gives us those dates, we'll go ahead and plan with you guys, and then our team, and then your team, and then Jamie Lynn Keller. If you're watching, you're also going to be invited to come on that overnight, and then Ed and Michael. I think that they would be really, really good people to come along with us too from Spire. So if you guys want, reach out to us. Bill, I think, is going to reach out to us. So we're going to plan an investigation to go back there and to do a thorough, really cool, just, focus on just all paranormal and just kind of have a good time with it too, and have some fun. And I think it's going to be a hell of a time. I love it.
Yeah, and then you look at it this way: we'll be live with our team. You'll be live with your team.
Yeah. And I love collaboration. I love collabing with everybody, dude. Like getting all of the paranormal groups together. It's just a really good time. I can't wait for Spirits in the Spring there. Brodhead Manor's got. Did you guys mention the Spirits in the Spring? It's gonna
I was getting ready to ask you that.
Yeah, so Spirits in the Spring. We'll be down there vending Spirits in the Spring.
1st and the 2nd of June.
Yes, 1st and 2nd of June. So get on down to Wisconsin, Brodhead, go to the Mannor. If you guys are watching this, it's awesome. You got tons of vendors. I think he's going to have psychic vendors there, like mediums and a bunch of different groups and everything that you guys can visit each table. And it's always really fun going to Paracons.
Yeah.
But it's a Spirit in the Spring. I don't know if it's necessarily. Oh, would we call it a Paracon, or is it just Spirits in the Spring? Is that?
That's just what
We don't know.
It's what it's called. So it's basically like a Paracon. So,
Yeah. Expo, whatever.
Yeah, that's. I definitely have to make a trip up there that day, and I'll just make an appearance. But
huge party. It's a nice drive too. I got to say, it's not that bad of a drive, to be honest.
it really wasn't. It seemed like you blinked your eye and you were there, because I think you guys got there probably maybe 15 minutes before we did.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you guys
ours is straight shot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys made really good timing.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it took that long to get there at all. And like I said,
I like the UFO and the alien and the UFO on the way there. I love that sculpture on the farm, the little farmland.
Cow.
I didn't get to see that. We must have come into the backside of it, because we come in by the cemetery when we came in.
Yeah, you guys probably went up through like Rockford kind of area. Yep. So we went the Dubuque side. We went all the way up to Dubuque and then shot over.
But yeah, that's definitely cool. So, like I said, that was definitely a great experience. And like I said, I think we all need to team up and do one hell of an investigation there. And
I think it would be really fun. Yeah, for all of us. I really do. I mean, and now that we've all been there, we kind of know the layout, and We kind of know, what to expect and where our surroundings is and stuff like that. So, and then we could try different techniques too.
Well,
Do stuff.
we
We
discussed
want to
while
use more flashlight, huh?
we talked about an experiment already, an idea while you were off about doing like poker in one room and then Uno in the other room with two different groups. So he's got to go.
Yeah, 'cause I gotta go after for a minute here.
Yeah, Bill said, Spirit, it's in the Spring Paracon, June 1st and 2nd. We will also have 13 speakers. I'm definitely going to have to probably make a trip up just to
Are
make
they
a
going to do
day
a
of
private
it.
investigation this year?
What?
I wonder if they're going to do a private investigation this year like they did last year.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Are you going to that person's house tomorrow for a investigation, Sean?
We're waiting for the okay. She said she'd let me know in the morning. It'll be a residential. If we go tomorrow, it'll be in the Peoria area. I think I sent you some pictures, didn't I?
You did. You sent me to the manifestation in that room.
I mean, I've been there before. The team hasn't, but I've been there before. And the owner of the house actually has been scratched before. And it was on live video when that happened. That was before I joined the old team. The time that I actually went was with the old team as well. And the lead at the time, he got scratched a couple times, or at least down his side, I think. And I got pictures of the image in the mirror. It was a female image. So I'm going to dig up those pictures because I think they're on my laptop here and compare them with the picture I sent you today.
Yeah.
And see if they look similar, because there is a female that is in that house. And there's some activity that actually does go on there. And it's really kind of an interesting place. She has a lot of dolls. It's got a lot of energy in them as well. So it's definitely.
Is that.
If you're a vendor on Friday night, it's free for all investigation. So Friday.
Yep. Which means Friday you're gonna have to get off, and then we're gonna be hauling booty.
Yeah, we'll be there late. So Tiffany.
Yeah, me and Charles will be there early.
Wait a minute, I can roll with you guys.
True.
Or if you're anyway, this is a conversation off the podcast, but this is gonna be so much fun vending out Brodhead.
The night of first Saturday night, there is a public investigation for an extra fee for guests coming.
Okay.
Or anyone.
June 1st, Saturday night, there will be a public investigation there for anybody, it looks like. So
Yeah. So
hey, are you gonna look up that photo that you said you were gonna pop that up, or you're just gonna post it
I'll
on the
have
page?
to dig it up, and I'll probably post it on the page if I find it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about the one that we got at Brodhead?
Both, the one that you got at Brodhead and the one that you're going to tomorrow.
I will have to get a hold of Leslie for the one at Brodhead. She's the one that took the Polaroid of that one, and I would have to put it on the computer for that one.
Oh, so, and I didn't even catch that you guys had a Polaroid.
Yeah, she's got a Polaroid.
Dude, that's awesome. Definitely
You missed the
bring that
beginning
in.
of it.
Yeah, I missed the beginning. I'd given myself a quick haircut and I was getting in the shower, trying to hurry up. So I'm sorry about that. I missed the beginning.
But the possible one we're going to tomorrow, I think it's on my laptop here. I'm going to have to dig through some pictures.
Yeah.
And if I got that one, I'm going to post that one as well.
Where's that at again?
It's in a location in Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
It's a residential.
Nice.
I wonder if that's one I've been to before. Is that one I've been to?
Kind of think, were you in that video? You might have been there. I know it was Tammy. It might have been you, Tammy, and Barb and Mark. I think it was there, maybe.
Because they got, you were talking about dolls.
Mhm.
Does she have them in glass cases like China huts
Mhm.
in her room?
Yep.
Okay, then it's the same place.
Yep. That's where we'll probably be going tomorrow, hopefully. She said
We'll have
she'd
to
let
talk off screen.
Huh?
We'll have to talk off screen about it.
Yeah. But I mean, I remember seeing that video, orbs going across back and forth from those cabinets. And that was before I joined the team back then. So, but yeah. But anyway. But yeah. So we've had an hour here. So, and I know you guys have been kind of wanting to go watch your hockey game, or hopefully they won.
Heck yeah. I hope they're winning. What do you think, Alicia?
Yeah, they're winning right now. 2-1, I think my dad said. He's been texting me.
Nice. I'm just
Or-
glad that we got to talk about Brodhead because, I mean, we can't elaborate it enough. I mean, if anybody's up there, check it out. And we'll be back.
No, most
And
definitely.
and it'll be a good time. So I know Bill will keep in contact with us as far as like the dates and everything. So we'll just have to all kind of decide on, you know, what he has open
Yep.
and go from there. But yeah, I think Broadhead would be a really awesome place for us to collaborate.
Oh, most definitely.
So yep.
I would like to thank you guys for inviting us up there that night. Team,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That was cool.
And we want to thank you for coming too. I mean, we really appreciate it.
Eating lunch there with you guys at the bar there before, and somebody getting scared to cut out the video.
Yeah.
it didn't get quite cut off. It was hilarious actually.
Midway. I had to delete the end because
Yeah, all you seen was me taking off from the car when I shut Leslie's door.
Yeah.
Me taking off sprinting, and all of a sudden it just goes blip.
I cut it off.
I knew he'd do it. Me and him talked about it the last time. I knew he'd do it. But
I can't forget to get spotted cow on my way back home before we leave Wisconsin again next time.
Yeah.
I just seen someplace that's got a hamburger challenge that actually looks pretty decent. It was up in that area.
Ooh, a hamburger challenge.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
it's the 6-pound hamburger.
Dang! Oh, we're gonna have Bill go in on this one. We all go in on it. I could eat a pound. I could shit.
I think you got to eat it in 45 minutes. I just seen the video on it.
Easy. How many people? One person?
One.
Oh
Good
God!
luck. Good luck.
There ain't no way I couldn't even do it. I couldn't. Nope. I could not.
I think the video said if you win or if you get it done within an amount of time, you get a $20 gift card, a T-shirt, and your name on the wall.
Oh man, for 6-pound hamburger. Oh God, I don't know if it'd be worth it.
Otherwise, I think it's $50 if you don't get a date.
Hey,
shit.
But yeah, so that definitely we're gonna have to check that out too when we're down there. So
Yeah, I love burgers. Who doesn't love like a good burger, dude? Come on.
Yeah, I'm always up for a challenge.
hello, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
But yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out when we go back up. I think it's pretty close around that area, so we'll check that out when we go up there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
like I said,
good.
thank you guys for having us up there and coming on tonight. Thanks, Bill, for letting us come up as well. and we definitely
Thank
will be
you.
returning.
Love you.
We
Thanks,
definitely-
Sean.
We definitely will be returning.
you.
'Cause-
Missed ya.
Said good evening.
All right. Good evening, Pam.
Yep. Thank you for sharing out, Pam.
Yep. Thank you for
Thank
sharing this, Pam.
And we're going to close out tonight. So tomorrow, if we go live, will be at about 7:00, depending on where we'll be at. If we'll be at a residence or at the cemetery, depends on if we get the okay or not. And also Sunday, we have Outer Realm Paranormal as our guest on the Eternal X Wolf Pack podcast. So tune in on Sunday when we talk with them.
Nice. We'll be
Same
tuning in.
time?
So, and Bill says, you're welcome. Great show. And thank you all for coming up. Like I said, it was a great place, Bill, and I recommend it for anybody. And you definitely got one hell of a place there to do investigations.
Yep.
So,
For sure.
all right, guys, we're going to close out the show. And like I said, thanks for having us and thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, Sean.
All right. I'm going to set you backstage and I'm going to shut down the show and I'll holler at you here in a sec.
All right.
Stay spooky.
Yeah, like I said, tomorrow night we may be going live at a residential if we get the okay. So we're just kind of waiting for that tomorrow. If not, we might be in a cemetery where they've seen a lot of orbs, and we're going to go out there and maybe see if we can catch the same thing. And it's in a location northwest of Galesburg. And our guest, like I said, this Sunday night will be Outer Realms Paranormal with Angie and Shane McLean. So check us out on Sunday and have a great weekend, guys. And hope to see you when we come back on. Have a great night.